and you look great down there, and everybody looks great down there. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, thank you for coming out here to the Cafe Gallery, to the Gallery Cabaret. And now I feel like I have to, it's always really mellow when we start, but then things get better and better, and that's because we happen to have for our feature this evening, Mr. Wayne Allen Jones. Give it up for everybody. Awesome. And I feel like I have to start by reading a few pieces, but I was going to read pieces from prose collection books that were released from Stars Publications, and I was going to start with something from Bare Minimum. And actually, I thought, well, you know, I designed these books. If I wanted to have the type bigger, I could actually put it on paper here, which I did. So I could just like hold this while I'm reading these to you. This is something that's from Bare Minimum, and it's called Ugly House. This is an ugly house. I hate the wallpaper in the spare room, those stupid miniature rooms on the shelves, the spare rooms, those stupid ugly little miniature rooms that she made. Why would anyone want a box of a miniature room anyway? She takes up all this space in there, and she gets mad at me when I put a flower arrangement in there. I'm sleeping in the room. Let me at least put something in there that doesn't feel like I'm sleeping in a hotel with a decorator that has no taste. So why does she have so much stuff anyway? She's got a third of her jewelry and half of her clothes in here, and I'm the one who sleeps in the room. I hate the multicolored carpet on the living room, the barrel chairs with turquoise and melon vinyl coverings, the ugly statues that the older woman is always drawn to. A statue has to be inherently ugly for her to like it, I think. And then there's the lights hanging above the bar. The lampshades are Harvey's Bristol cream canisters. Oh, and I hate the stained glass hanging in the kitchen windowsill. And you can see the black paint chipping off the refrigerator door, so you know that they tried to cover up the turquoise. And there are these silk flowers in there that look really crappy. The kitchen has the worst ones, I think. And the wood branch tree thing she decorates for any pagan season she can think of, even if it's not pagan. Well, let's decorate the tree anyway. No one will know the wiser. Or the fact that there are nice things in this place, like 2 dolly prints, but they look ugly here. Even art looks like trash in a place like this. And I hate the room that I'm sitting in right now. Look at how cluttered it is. All the jewelry she'll never get around to selling. All the fabric for clothes that she'll never make. All the exercise equipment that collects dust because she feels that she can walk her way to a perfect body. You know, she doesn't like me using the treadmill because she thinks I'll wear the motor out. What difference does it make? Books she collected because I collect books. She wants this of mine. I owe her this. I adopted this from her. She's so petty, and no subtle hint I make makes a difference. She slams any idea I ever have. She makes me feel like I can never be creative because it won't work out. And she wonders why I'm insecure. Don't you get it? You made me this way. I hate what you've done to me. I hate what we've become. And now I have to sit here and live with you in this ugly house. And when I move out, I'm going to still have to live with myself, with all this insecurity, with all this anger. I'll still have the memory of this ugly house in my mind. What will she have? Anger.
You do know that you've got a flat back. You do.
I do?
Yeah.
Awesome. Is that good or bad? Or how's it sound?
Depends on whether you want your words understood or not.
Could you not understand me?
Oh yeah, we could.
Good. I'm like, well, I don't know.
You're probably wondering.
Is it, and this looks too far away.
This meeting.
I don't know if that one makes a difference. This one is actually from the other collection book that we've got going on, which I can display for you this entire time, because it sounds stupid that I'm going to read this to you when the title is Don't Listen, Read. But since you don't have an old copy here in front of you, I'm going to read to you a piece or two from this. This is from Don't Listen, Read, and this is called Doctor. Once upon a time, there was a young man who was very intelligent. You could see him at his desk now, writing or sitting on his bed, leaning against his headboard, reading, studying. And people knew that he was intelligent, and people knew that he was going to be a doctor someday. If you got him talking, he'd tell you about starting his work in an emergency room, all the people he'd meet, and all the lives he wanted to save. And this man was also a very handsome man. He stood tall, blonde hair, bright blue eyes, eyes like water reflected on a scalpel. He dressed well, always looked impeccable, and he had a wide open smile. His mother never told him to brush his teeth every day. And this man was a charming man, and most would have been able to see that he would have been a good doctor. He was raised well, given the best of everything, and he was still taught the value of work. And as you got to know him, you'd see that he'd hold up the doors for you, listen intently, pay the bill, laugh at your jokes. In fact, this man was so charming, so kind, that you'd never see him yell, never see him get angry. He never swears, never cries, never laughs too hard, never has too much fun. He's like a Ken doll. You can be mean to him. You can steal from him. You can rape him. That's a part of his charm. He was so charming, so lifelessly charming. Just once, I wanted to be able to grab his broad shoulders and shake him, dig my fingers into his flesh, maybe break a nail, maybe bring some pain into his life. I wanted to grab him, to shake him, to tell him that he needed to feel this pain. He needed to feel it, because without it, he couldn't feel the joy, the bliss, the ecstasy of life. When he saves his first life on the operating table, when he falls in love, when his first child is born, these are things that will all register in his mind. He will understand these things for what they are, but otherwise, they will mean nothing to him. How do I tell this charming man, this handsome man, this intelligent man, that he's not living life right? How do I explain these things? How do I explain the color blue to a blind man? That's your doctor. That's your doctor. Thank you very much. And make sure when they're much shorter. This one is also from Don't Listen, Read. And if anybody would like a copy of any of these things, or if anybody wants to submit stories to CC&D or Down the Dirty Scottish Publications, let me know. This is called Salesman. The doorbell rang. Who could be stopping by at this hour? I thought. So I put my magazine down and walked to the door. A man in a plaid suit stood in the hallway with a worn briefcase in his hand. He flashed me a tired, businesslike smile. It almost seemed genuine. As he rambled on and on about, well, I don't know what he said. I don't even know what he wanted. What is he selling? I thought, and my head became dizzy with his confusing words. It all seemed like nonsense. But it all seemed to make sense. I didn't like what I heard, but I tried to listen. I wanted to listen. I had to hold onto the door frame. I had to keep myself steady while this man's thoughts tried to knock me down. I finally stopped him. What are you trying to sell me? What are you trying to do? I asked. The man looked at me and said, I'm trying to sell you an ideology. I'm trying to poison your mind. I slammed the door in his face. Alone, I let go of the door frame. I fell down.
And because we were running interesting pieces, please, ladies and gentlemen, give it up for our first open mic. Give it up for Joffrey Stewart. Joffrey, come on up here, my darling.
I'll do two. The title of this first one is not original. It's from the person I mentioned in the poem. Title, Who Bombed America? The epigraph is from Sherman Skolnick, who was reported murdered by Mossad 7 years ago last May. Report from anonymous source. New York City firemen, there were 1,000 Bombs in the building, cyberspaceorbit.com. Crucial info evidence, explosives toppled WTC. The former Leroy Jones most likely was not related to Emperor Jones. He was not a Dutchman. I watched him nod out, probably under grace, at the Printers Row Book Fair. Up close, not on TV, he oddly reminded me of my brother Herman, trying to beat out Barack Obama as the first black Republican president of the United States. He wrote a suicide note, but disappointed all who wished he had acted on it. He taught by a stony brook. He died in hospital with the name Israel, oddly coincident with that his children would be Jewish. I think some of his writing might be anti-Jewish, but no one called him on it, so that may tell more about me than about him. He probably wrote the best that could ever be said about Ronald Reagan. He told us who bombed America, implicating Sharon, who zeitgeistedly waited to die with him. Anyway, his lines were, "Who bombed America?" being one of our rare agreements, because he be Marxist, forever postponing utopia, and I am anarchist, immediately disposed harmlessly to breaking the law for peace. But I like his poetry so much, I was arrested in jail 16 days just for trying to go upstairs in an Evanston Barnes & Noble to hear him, brilliantly vehement against racism, completely unaware of the racist cop who threatened to squeeze my balls for not walking when he had to drag me out. Later, to be conveyed limp throughout to the county jail with an Evanston resident who had experienced arrest merely for asking a cop for exchange, and was thinking of moving to Mississippi to get away from the dictatorship. The cop stole my shopping bag and poetry, and of course the cop lied about everything with impunity. And what is that in a system that runs 24/7 on the Zionist lie about 9/11? As though to add insult to injury, a Canadian anarch, Bob Melcombe, censored my account, excising what I most wanted: this land of Indian fighting, Lincoln, electoral Obama land, massively incarcerating, arrests blacks at 1 percentage point above national average, itself 8 times the rate for apartheid in South Africa. Currently, I'm reading trailers, If Only Words Were Enough, and Martin Luther King would have been 85 5 days ago. And tomorrow I might be threatened with arrest, I was a bit, for leafleting his birthday at DuSable Museum. And I know I can be arrested for constitutionally protected speech under this Jewish chauvinist dictatorship, which the recently deceased, the News One report, oddly dateless, was never Marxist enough to name as such. Maybe this playwright was a little slave-minded if he expected the Marxists to bring liberation, the Maoists to bring liberation. But even so, as a laureated poet. He is much too good for New Jersey and its Newark, which I well remember for its 60s riot. Olaf, I will not kiss your fucking flag, actualized poetry, as did Olaf's memorializer, who refused war that second time round. Tax-resistingly, I recall Diane de Prima, mother of his children. This one, the title is The Poetry Connection. I read it at the Old Town Ale House last Sunday. They had their annual performance thing. It used to be biannual, maybe. Annual biannual. And I did not know Reynolds on the mic at Gallery Cabaret was surnamed with Damien until he got on the mic at Old Town Ale House to reveal the kinship. The day before Martin Luther King Day was unobserved, memorializing him, Damien, after the Saturday he passed. It was in the ale house that I saw him for years before a few New Years ago he introduced himself. We became friends, and he, with interest, receiving the poems leaflet I had read on that Monday night at Weeds, showing not merely his prize-winningly trivial side, but his serious side, responding to the incarceration need of Helen Woodson, jailed as long as Nelson Mandela for the anti-nuke beliefs they shared, but with the non-violence that took a jackhammer to a missile silo and going beyond Nelson by sticking up a Chicago bank with an empty gun, throwing the tinder down on the bank floor, and burning. A bank robber after my own heart, and had apparently won Damien's heart too. Somewhere Woodson survives, not quite free from parole, whatever, but a pacemaker kept Damien running all over the world until cancer caught up with him. Imagine that. In ignorance of cause, I was already missing in the wee AMs the tennis-shoed cab driver in the weeks that ailing kept him from the ale house, where he led in dancing, was always reading, like Django Reinhardt's Brazil, and sometimes played for me, also on the jukebox, Gene Ammons's Exactly Like You.
That's a big walk away. Thank you very much, Joffrey. And I figured I was going to say this because John's not here right now. You were at an art festival and he was talking to some man, I have no idea who. And this man told him this and I had to write it down. The man said, I hear there is so much oil underground that what we humans have used is just a drop in the bucket. And we could get all of that oil if we wanted to. But if we did, then the earth would be hollow and it would just cave in. I think this man's a professor. I didn't know who the guy was, and he was saying, I'm like, really? Because later, then they heard that guy say that all that oil that exists under the earth came from all the plants and animals that were once here, because the earth sucked them in, and they decayed to form that oil. And after he said that, I thought, the earth sucked them in? But then again, I just saw on television a bunch of trees that were instantly sunk into a sinkhole, so who knows, maybe he was onto something. So I think the next person that I've got on my list here is Mr. Weather's Press, Mr. I've been collecting bags like mad for this man who is awesome. Please give it up for Mr. Patrick Hurley. Come on up here. It is nothing.
So yeah, Janet got to experience today some of the production process that goes into my paper bag books. So I'm gonna read some new stuff, and somewhere in here I have to kind of flip pages because, well, anyway, go with it. Ouroboros. The closing in, cramped, small space. Is it here that revelation is had? Remove everything, start over, fresh and clean. It doesn't take long for the new leaves to fall and rot. You turn them over and over again, but it just ends the same, decay and rot. Turn it over in the new soil. Fertilize the new idea. The phoenix flies again, but we all know how it ends. The meaning of life revealed, so simple. Remove everything, start over, fresh and clean. Park yourself in broad, open spaces at night with a clear sky. There you are small, so small. Not even a blinking light in the navy blue abyss of the expanding universe. Spread out, back to the ground, high noon, eyes closed, your palms flat in grass. Sun warms your face. You think this is life as you breathe deep the meadow. Still so small, so small. Just an image of the blood in your eyelid to help acknowledge existence. The meaning of life, so easy, yet so questioned. The obvious is always hard to accept. It must be more complicated. Life's meaning cannot be simple. When the science of quantum mechanics is unexplainable in simple terms. Remove everything. Start over, fresh and clean. Carefully select the items that transcend the metamorphosis, then pack it all up and do it again. There came a time when you just wanted to cry, to release, the release of tears, giving comfort unknown, to be held by your father, mother, parent, relief and release. And you wanted so bad to cry, to feel the tears, taste the salt of life on your tongue, but you couldn't make it happen. Something stood in the way, some pride wound around experience. This thing could not happen, and the belief it would give was not attained. You break, numb, no tears, collapse, fetal. Then, as a flower after the shower, raise yourself to bloom and full. Life's meaning revealed in this experience, but rejected by its simplicity. There is no answer to why beyond because. Yes, simple, so simple. Now what? true darkness. I lay wide awake, the air so thick, eyes wide open in darkness. I am blind, yet my mind races with visions. Oh, to have you distract me now. Then I could rest, see true darkness, the void of pre-sleep. Yet you are not here, and sirens break the void, and sleep is water for Tantalus, over there, so close in the distance.
Well, that was it. I thought he was going to do another one. Oh, right, come on, grab a girl leg.
I thought he was going to do more than 2, but I did it fine. Well, that was awesome. Thank you very much. And I think I might have to find something that I don't read from the chapbook if something would get done with us in the future. That'd be awesome. But in the meantime, I didn't even get to tell Mr. Michel Hoag that he's the next one up on stage. So I'm not even gonna. Should I do some long old thing, or should I just talk about how awesome he is? Please, ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Mr. Michel Hoag. Michael, come on up here.
With pockets, I'll follow the leaves without trees to the Great Lakes in sheets and layers, leaves settling in pockets in the Great Lakes wake, making leaf boats with leaves from trees without leaves. To the wake, to the Great Lakes wake, leaves from trees, boarding leaf boats from trees without leaves. Trees without leaves, working from septic tank roots, follow the leaves without trees, settling in pockets in the Great Lakes wake. To the leaves and tree packs and forests, trees without leaves find leaves without trees, pockets of trees, trees without septic tank root balls, trees boarding leaf boats in the Great Lakes wake, leaves off trees, trees on leaves, septic tank root balls stranded. With pockets, I'll follow the trees without leaves, the Great Lakes wake, trees boarding leaves without trees from trees without leaves. I wrote that a little time ago, not too long ago, so it's a little old. I was trying to pick, it felt like there was a theme going of complaining tonight.
No, that's what poets do, so don't feel like they have to stick with it.
Well, I was looking for complaining poems, and of course I'm not big on that, so it's not as complaining as I get. This is kind of old news, so you've probably heard it before. If things fell, if things went, I could follow a route. Round would roll. If shadows got old, if shadows dried up, I could name worms, numbers would add. If northwest was here, if north went up, I could tell the vital from the scrap, air would be here. If habits repeated, if habits deferred, I could be first person plural, hands would cup. If hands never got lost, if hands could sort and fit, I could close my eyes at a window, breathing would be still. If I knew tomorrow, if I could remember tomorrow, I could call water, east and west suns would sparkle east and west snowfields.
Wow.
I'm going there walking, I'm not sitting anymore. I'm going with supports, I'm not covering windows this time. Looking at water with water in my eyes, looking at air with air all around. I'm going there with paper, I'm not writing any longer. To the gravel road, to the streams and ports in the air, to the moles and holes in the ground. You all have chairs for ears and water rings for eyes. You'll be seeping and leaking, you're escaping with spare things. I'm going there repeating, I'm not getting measured once more. I'm going there with air inside, I'm not getting dotted any time. If numbers went up and down and numbers lost their fume, I could organize hands, I could go northwest. I'm going there for incidents, I'm not going there accidental ever again. Thanks.
I know there's a big old line of people that were planning on coming this evening, and that was the thing. John says to me, "Hey, would you start my car for me while I'm out of town, because it might not be good in the cold weather." So I started the car, and I'm like, "It won't start." And I look at the clock, it says 12 o'clock. I'm like, "Oh, your battery must be dead because it's so cold." He's like, "Well, it'll be fine once it gets over like 32, though we have no problem with starting it up. When's the next time it's supposed to get that warm?" And I'm like, 3 days after you get back into town. It's just so freaking cold here. I can't believe it. Anyway, we might even do it, and I would say we can do a round robin and do this again before a feature, because I know people are coming here and we've got time. But in the meantime, please give it up for Mr. Jerry Pendergast. Jerry!
Thank you. Table at a college reunion. They're passing around photographs of landscapes and fleshscapes resculptured by life since graduation. They're trying to talk away 25 years of facial crevices and belly hills. Summaries of promotions, acquisitions, children's achievements roll from tongues, with memories of games, concerts, demonstrations, laments for the homecoming queen found dead after a party in network executive's mansion. Cerebral cameras, microphones pan backwards, chasing scenes from late night discussions, utopian blueprints, snatched away like a Moletta from a charging bull. Possessive plural. Ex-spouses, boy, girlfriends, circling, drifting, glances from dancers, talkers with drinks in hand, surveying the room, seeking view of exes and their partners, unknown dancers, stepping to sound current, a long arm raised slowly in the center, legs slowly halt, holding a pose. He's eyeing exes, currents, soon-to-bes, looking for messages from hips, shoulders. It's called selection. Words waiting for a signal, a sound, a gesture for selection from someone seeking a job, permission, a better grade. Words, tone, speed, pitch, chosen strategically. Seeker, parent, instructor, hiring agent, observe with all senses. Notes taken with pen on paper, in the brain and in the gut.
Oh. Ew. I don't think that was enough, because
He's got this way of being like, I'm just going to just read and flip and go to something else. So please, ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Jerry Pendergast. He doesn't give us a chance. You got the Bob Ross note, there's my poem. Thank you. Or my poem. There's so many people that come away to it, and he's like, I'm just going to flip through, and you're like, I can't even acknowledge your thing. So, but thank you very much. And now I'm sitting here like, oh, I actually do think we are going to go through another round, which means, Joffrey, you better get on up here if you'd like to have another poem. I'm giving the announcement to you. Because we can do a round robin at the end, because we've got the time before we have a phenomenal feature this evening, okay? I think here. So I'm just trying to find one. So I looked, and I have no idea how this one's going to go. But this is called Understood. Isn't it funny how irony can grab a hold of you and turn you upside down? Actually, irony doesn't do that to you. It does everything else to you, and everyone else sees the irony. A father owned a bungee jumping company, or operation, whatever you want to call it. And one day, he had his family with him, and they wanted him to jump. Because, it's a safe thing, And it was the anniversary of him and his wife. And he said, okay, I can do it. And he got up there, and he got strapped in, and the kids turned the video camera on. And yes, he was strapped to the rope, and the rope wasn't strapped to the crane. The rope was strapped to nothing. And his own children got to videotape their own father struggling for the end of the rope, or the end of the ledge, or safety, or anything. And this is a true story, I tell you. And he had nothing like this happen before, and this was the irony that everyone else saw. Because it wasn't irony that got a hold of him and turned him upside down. It was gravity and mistakes and everything that could go wrong, which did. It was something that got a hold of you. Something, I told you. And everyone else, after the fact, understood.
He laughed for he laughed for that one, so I'm gonna ask the Joffrey to come up, Joffrey, come up to my gallery piece. Now do a round robin, do a piece before our feature, so get on up.
The Jews killed him 10 years ago.
What? What?
He's the best poet ever. Bro. Don't make fun of Jews, though. Frosty the Snowman. Frosty the Snowman brings cocaine every day. Sometimes meth and heroin. He is the CIA. Addiction to profit. Slavery pays for war. It always has, with taxes paid to disguise the aggressor. Our friends are grabbed with overdose. Jim Thompson's China White. Slavery's a ghetto's flight. Misery's a global blight. Frosty the Snowman loads Mexico with guns for homicide and bankster gain. It's New World Order fun.
That was awesome.
Okay.
That was awesome.
Right on. Still got a sense of humor.
And this is what this open mic's all about. We've got somebody that's going to come in. It was not, he hasn't read before, well, not tonight, but I feel like an ass for doing this, but Mr. Chingahood, get on up here, my darling. It is your turn. Get on up here.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, he's only got one, but all right, give it.
He's like, that's enough. Come on up here.
Joffrey used to babysit me, remember that? When I was just a baby. Oh, okay.
Come on up. Go, whichever way.
Well, indeed, I always wanted to come up. Hello, is this the time?
Hello, yep.
Well, this is a story about my childhood. No, it's not my childhood. Oh, it's about living near the L train. Oh, or having a place. Sometimes you get to thinking, it's all been such a goddamn bad dream. You wake up in a cold sweat and you hear that fucking L train scream. You say, I gotta get out of here, man. This shit is too much to bear. You wind up at some corner bar and forget you even cared. Well, you better catch yourself a fast rate, baby. Because this money you lack, she'll never let you accumulate it. Because I seen her whine. Seen her fucking whine that monkey on your back. And forget about that Puerto Rican woman you got down on Fremont Street. She wasn't that good looking, but man, was she a treat. And she carved you with the butcher knife and hummed some lost refrain about all the love that's ever lost turned into a ball and chain. And beans and rice for every meal. She take what she wants and the rest she steals. 2 little kids hanging from her skirt and 3 more outside in the dirt. My Puerto Rican woman down on Fremont Street. Well, forget about that. Forget about that Puerto Rican down on Fremont Street.
Thank you.
You lost some weight. Well, not necessarily.
Uh-oh. I don't even know they know each other. But it's really awesome when people can just be like, I'm gonna come up here and want to do shit. Yeah, that's what it's all about. And I should also warn you, because I am in cahoots with the NSA, because we like to video record all open mic performances. And we like to keep tabs on you at all times, which means that at some point this open mic is going to become a YouTube clip and a podcast. So if anybody has a problem with that, you'll have to see me. And if you really want something deleted, I can work on that. But, you know, I'm supposed to monitor everything you guys do. But in the meantime, I've got this little lovely bag here, and because, you know, some people say they have a puppet, and some people have, well, a head. And I've got this awesome bag thanks to number 4 on my open mic list. And I'm going to put my life savings into this thing for our phenomenal feature this evening from Wayne Allen Jones. Give it up one more time for Wayne. Yeah, woo! Yeah, that's you. Oh, yeah. And I'm going to pass this around. I'm going to make sure that everybody puts in their life savings because you are so worth it. I swear to God. Well, I'm like, I put everything I had. What? Yeah, that means you too. You're going to give something for a great feature. Sorry. In the meantime, and just because Michael Hoag's coming up here doesn't mean he's not safe. He's going to have to give some to this. But please, ladies and gentlemen, one more from Michael Hoag.
Oh, come on, give us something, you people. Really? Oh, whatever.
Depends on everybody. All right.
Contribution to the cause.
This is a big complainer, all right? Ready? Hey mole, let me have a worm. I'll water the ground and plant worm lemming verge. I'll keep the mole eaters out. I'll never pour a footing. Just let me have a worm. Hey mole, let me stay underground. I'll lose my eyes and start hearing. We'll skim just below the surface. You curl to the right and I'll twist to the left. And together we'll do the mole dance. Just let me stay underground.
Whoa.
Yeah, that was tough. That was a tough one. All right, here's a really complainer. Let's go where it's warm and do chores. We'll count the horizons and brush the air clean. We'll find water to wash and everywhere feel gravity. Let's go to the bees and do chores. We'll correct the passive and leave food. We'll number letters and all the time iron. Let's turn around and do chores. We'll try roasted pollen and clap tree leaves. We'll name our worms and ever to ever polish in sand. That's all you get.
Oh my gosh, you people.
I know.
You are. Like, who's trying to, you know, as my definition is, you people are awful.
So I'm going to try to do fillers with little ones before I call up. No, I won't say he's number 4 because he's much more than number 4. This is Ever Expanding Spaces. I try to do these Twitter-like poems, and I said, I can't sleep. The universe is always expanding. So I have to keep working to fill in the ever-expanding spaces. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Sarah Newman. Hey, man, Newark, get on up there, my darling. If you want to do more than one, go.
Oh, I'll do.
He'll do 3. What?
Three. So the last 3 things I wrote. Nothing tastes of sin, no victim is unquestionable, or vanishing in a cellular word tinged with relentless innuendos, fragile excuses on the way to a minor extinction. Oh my God, ravels, unravels, re-ravels existence, like termites hinge, unhinge, rehinge, graceful doll or words, needed, unneeded, needless, re-needless, needy, disneedy, misneedable, one by one, redistributing today's version, slow, so slow I almost fill my need to know. I never could cut it. No matter what exaggerato was waiting, spreading latent factuous Freud, understanding attempts to pin pinball machine discriminations, either that or just obey the fucking boss. Oh, yes, in terms of, all of these are complaints. That's all I do. By the way, there was this couple in Oregon and they went to this restaurant and they liked their service.
and the tip that they gave their waiter was an envelope full of crystal meth.
Okay.
I haven't heard a story like that since like the 70s. It made me feel really good.
Talk about your life saving.
Yeah. They woke up in the morning and realized that probably wasn't a good idea. Disorder compromises shadow truth, reflecting the hermit in hand. It doesn't offer curiosity or transform our deceptions or evacuations. Our New World seasons intersect resentment, falling grapes in empty rust circles, assured flesh and mind dance business look forward to the usual. Property passes below the horizon. Make it what you will or won't, it makes no difference to me. Little bloodstains, kisses, brawling laughter, mayhem spent amongst tattered nights and evaporating spite. Sunlight God screams and forgets who was crucified, why, when. It's monkey time on another uninvited Fata Morgana rapture. Live mannequins lift their fixer off this unintentional vampire memory. Spider notoriety, qualm expose. Needle secret insectivore discomfort is a small price to pay for uncompromised escape. Covers creak, excuses drown survival in a cell. The new sincerity understands nothing, ignores pawn spit bad news in a too-tight captive jacket, mefford in subterfuge, dismembered, evaporated sparrows huddle on streets, elegant betrayal ignored by child stargazers, recycled buckshot, nerve fails, done is never, ever done. And this is my final complaint for the evening. Night on a new age sex mule with lust-conscious shame, affliction, obscured by perjured moments and dismemories of intimate vanishing fanticity, replaced on a 3-foot chain in a window as big as air, on fire between Devil Stew, Skull fucking deepened Heaven Road, visibility zero without Mebius peephole snot-waste questions regarding incarnate oppression before truth, justice, and propaganda, advertorial resurrender covered with fingerprints and rug-bleeding strand-word obsessed with future-pacing sphinx talk, practice prayer, melt, dissolvent ecstasy can be yours, on boiling pornographic pavement, committing lonely murders like so much dog madness, screaming invitations as if nothing pleases stillborn doctrine fantasies, sequestered by definitions of life, raveling faster than they unravel, no one cares. Without the vaguest idea who collects the garbage and relegates the ciphers, all sheer boredom in bottles, in small suitcases, unclaimed in airports as knife fighters and swarming victims without names plunge into falling economy gas clouds, washing each other's hands, praying silently, and singing off-key typewriter anthems while fishing promiscuously in body toil and neck sweat, Xanax, arbitration, dismissed, unnoticed, movements on television, sets falling 84 stories, killing the court, no futurity in place. Thank you.
Thank you. No, thank you. This man has been doing a ton of stuff with the music, and he's been doing a bazillion jillion, I don't know the right words because I like to make up ones that don't exist that mean a lot, songs that are on SoundCloud. And because I only have Facebook, I never get notices of this stuff, but I'm on SoundCloud, so I didn't even, but he's got a bunch, and he's like, what is my genre? I'm like, fuck you if you want a genre. I just do my thing, and it's really awesome. So if you've got SoundCloud, you should so check him out. Am I right? Is there anything I should know and tell them about SoundCloud so that they get info?
If they want me, I
Yeah.
have to look up Chicago Word Brigade.
Chicago?
Chicago_word_brigade_.
Oh, there's an underscore under the after the last word?
Between the two words. Between Chicago
Chicago
Word
underscore
Brigade.
word_brigade.
And it's called Chicago Word Brigade because almost nothing has words.
So check it out because he's awesome. Because I remember he came by once and I'm going to, and I think I see Robin is going to show up, but I'm going to look for a piece from Jerry Pendergast next. But I know that I had a voice altering thing, and he did
It's on there.
The Grimness of Newark, and then he changed the voice and he put that on SoundCloud. And I have that on my iPod, and I have that that shot of you with the numbers in front of you, the prison shot, is my little icon to go with it. That's the grimness of Newman. Because they didn't have anything. I'm like, I don't have anything. I'll put that with it because that's what I think of when I think of Charlie Newman. Anyway, so check it out. Either way, please check it out because it's really triple plus awesome. Please give it up for Jerry Pendergast. Coming up here.
So last night was the State of the Union, so of course I'm going to do a news poem. This is from the early 80s. Picking up a fallen leaf, still moist, not yet browning. I bring it inside with the paper that I digest with my lunch between job interviews. I stop at a page on peace talks, treaties. Read about pieces of land given, taken, demands, guarantees. Pieces of land, companies, bought, sold. Too many gates for fiascos of states. Prose hymns to the sacred center. Sports scores, game summaries. Opportunities of a lifetime for someone with the right stuff. Wonder if the leaves still on the tree outside will live to fall from a natural wind. I'm flipping more pages to find out what's chic, what part of the world is in fashion this week.
Yes, is that all right with you? Okay.
Robin Rant
That's
and
what happens
Robin.
when people just show up and I'm like, by the way, you're reading. Right now. Yeah, ready, go. She hasn't even had a drink yet. She's like, I'm not even ready.
Yeah, she just got in there.
Yeah, well, you know, you
She's
should
thawing out.
come a little bit earlier, lover nugget.
The Western bus sucks tonight. I waited 25 minutes.
I don't know why I said lesser.
Actually, I left it all at home. On my,
Do you remember anything?
no.
You remember?
You remember
everything?
nothing.
Just read all the random parts you remember. It'll work, it'll be good. It will.
It'll sound good.
William Burroughs made a
Or do you have announcements or anything, my darling?
What I do have something.
All right.
It's not mine, but I love it.
All right. Well, that's awesome because oftentimes you would read things from other people, which I'm not going to do this week. I'm saving it for 2 weeks from now because I'll have stuff from the don't forget it 2014 date book. So I'll be reading things from other people. That'd be that. But in the meantime, please give it up for Robin. Fine. She's like, hold on.
No idea.
All right, we all start changing. Well, we can do the GPA sharing. Fine time. What? I've got to think about it. What?
All right, well, we'll try this.
Awesome. Please give it up for Robin.
Come on up and down.
Right.
Hi, everybody. I take it everybody survived the cold.
Yeah.
Has it been cold?
Character building.
This is kind of going to be I'm working on something with Esteban and Buddha on the theme about God was late for today. Buddha did God was evicted today, and I'm working on something called I Evicted God Today. So this is Stevie's poem that I had that I'm going to be using as a prompt to finish what I have to do. God was late for work today, and the clock refused to move, refused to tick a single talk past 11:59. God was late for work today, and dew forgot to drop. Wasn't woken up by kindly hands to gently lather every natural surface, sleeping so soundly he lost the sparkle in his eyes, reserved for all the green children he touched, replaced by the sharp edges of rectangular mucus holding his eyes together like dried rubber cement. God was late for work today, and the earth refused to move, stood with hands on hips, tapping an impatient foot, actually still enough to let the fearful leave while checking her watch to see if time would actually work without supervision. God was late for work today, and rolling bones in a grave, Nietzsche bursts from the ground screaming, "I told you so!" while dreaming of absolutely nothing. God was late for work today, his absence personified in the shape of 4 horses steered by riders ready to devour the whole of the world, and as they fill the sky with deep red siphoned from veins, the sun calls in sick, not willing to come to work without the Almighty there to cover his ass. And God was late for work today, snuggling with that perfect pillow of dreams, more vivid than life. He paused, taking one morning to himself, risking all of creation in the process, letting every portion of air come crashing to the earth, each electron fly free, letting all the scurrying life forms on this planet cry for unconscious mercy. And as soon as eyes cracked open, meteors stop slamming into grounds, millions of synapses reconnect, time kickstarts into ecstatic joy, asking the sun to come in, and as creation roll forward, as smooth as the ass of a Teflon baby, and I look at my alarm clock, almost as far down the totem pole from the maker as one can be, and turn it off, 'cause damn, no matter what the consequences, everyone deserves a chance to roll over and go back to sleep. That's it. I don't have anything else.
Oh, but you
I left everything at home.
That's your spot. Well, thank you very much. Give it up one more time for round 5.
For all you guys, because you're really awesome. And whatever sucks. I know Janine and Tom were like, "You're going to be here, but there was a problem. I have to go to the doctor." Everything's fine. Don't worry. They're fine. But, and I was sitting here with Patrick Hurley, who just left, which makes me sad because he had to go. Because he's working on a chapbook of stuff of mine, and I was laughing my ass off with this one. I'm like, I have to put this Twitter-length found poem in there because this, and I'm going to read it, this is based on the final comment from the Illinois Governor Rod Blagojevich in a statement before leaving for a 14-year jail sentence. I heard this on the news. These are his exact words. "This is the law. We follow the law. And I will begin doing that tomorrow." Because he was going to do it tomorrow. He's like, "Well, I'll begin doing it tomorrow." I'm like, oh my God, that's the funniest thing ever. Hello, welcome to Illinois politics. I'm sorry. But I wanted to finish this up and might give a little break before our phenomenal feature with this poem, which is this is a poem about, and I'm not even going to tell you what it's about, so you'll have to look online to find out or ask me afterward or something. But this is a poem called Only Occasionally. I only see you occasionally. After being together, then dealing with all the hot air you spit at me. I can't take it, and I must get away. Thank you. And I am going to say that there is another open micer here. And so you guys are going to have to listen to me talk about upcoming features. Because, yes, it's every other week. And in 2 weeks, we've got Marianne Schaefer on 2/12. That's actually Lincoln's birthday, in case anybody cares. And on February 26th, we've got, I said Marianne Schaefer was on 2/12. Elizabeth Marino is on February 26th. And then we've got Janine Ravis-Luton and Tom Roby in March. And if you want to run the entire schedule, you can always go to www.chaoticarts.org/thecafe. And you can find out details because this thing is filled for the year. And in fact, just so that everybody knows, the last one for 2014 was taken by Jeff Helgeson. because he wrote a play that was done as a theater performance, and he is going to be doing a shortened change version of that for the feature, which will be awesome. I'm so looking for it. It was a great show to see, and I really love to see what's going on with that. So if anybody has any questions about anything like that, let me know. And by the way, people have been asking me, oh yeah, is anything happening with having it chosen writings that is going to be done in a book since I do books? The answer is yes, it is there. The problem is that features don't ever send me their writings. I am collecting the writings, and when I have enough to actually be put into a book, I'm going to have a book. So anybody who is featured, keep that in mind. Send me your feature for that. That means, Wayne Allen Jones, you could have something from this date, anything that you'd written, and it would be going into a collection book of all the chosen few writings, which I think are triple plus awesome. In the meantime, I'm just talking way too much. Keep it all in mind, and please give it up for our last open mic this evening. I think I see Jerry Reynolds here. Please give it up for Jerry Reynolds. One Jerry's never enough, right? Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Yeah. Boogie, I need help.
With what?
You know, the most wonderful thing that ever happened to me, ever happened today. I had this wonderful opportunity to get pre-interviewed for a radio show. And when I say show, it's like more like a tell. An old friend of mine has been hounding me. I have the wonderful opportunity to do a half an hour interview where I get to be the interviewee for a college radio station. And the subject is the magic of theater. I do not have stage fright. I know the magic of theater. Half an hour. Please remember, this is poetry. How do I cram 28 years of the magic of theater into a half an hour? Don't you repeat. What, is there an echo in here? The wonderful thing is that it's on a radio station, and then I found out actually it's on Facebook or Face Page or whatever they call that. I am too old and too smart or too otherwise. I am not Amish, but I'm ashamed. I'm not on that. And when I tried to recommend it to a bunch of my friends, they were like, neither am I, neither am I, neither am I. And I didn't tell it to the students yet. But I'm hoping that somebody in this crowd could tell me how to, like, not what buttons to press or whatever. The beautiful thing is that Brother Elder, one of the Vincentians, who isn't a priest but has been one of the finest artists ever for DePaul University, has been granted the opportunity to be the moderator for a radio station. The last time I was on radio was when I was in college. And so I happen to know the etiquette. So, while I'm on the radio, if I happen to mention your name, what should I call you? Typed, actually. And the response was, Bronco Bro. So I get to be corralled by Bronco Bro. And today at noon, he came by the shop, only because he wanted to see my portfolio. For 28 years, I have not been required to have a portfolio. So, I said, stop by the shop. I showed him what I do. We walked through the building and picture after picture on the wall. Show great costumes. No, wait, look at this one. Beautiful, eloquent, nice. The topic of a 30-minute conversation is the magic of theater. And my street creds are accurate. I showed him 2 of the sets that haven't been seen by many people because the audience hasn't been invited in yet. One of them was designed by the head faculty designer, and they're going through a light check. And I asked permission, could I lower the red curtain? And showed him 2.5 football fields worth of sewing. A beautiful curtain. I didn't tell him this, but there are 288 rings on ring tape in order to make it Venetian properly. The other set looked just like the model. He was impressed with the set when he saw the model and he realized, this is what we do. I tried to explain to him there is no magic to theater because a magician never tells. He didn't call me a liar. He's not a priest. I do not confess my sins. But after the interview, the pre-interview, because I'm getting on the radio this Sunday and I want to be ripe and ready, and I'm just practicing here. Please close your eyes and pretend I'm on the radio for a moment, because I want to answer the question about the magic of theater, and I would like to practice it just for a moment to a bunch of people, some of who I already love and some I will love eventually, but at the Gallery Cabaret. The magic is a theater is like a library where everybody reads the same book. And all of the illustrations are in 3D, sometimes more. And the voice in your head is not your own voice. It's the voice of somebody that is more intimate with the author. And there are no book reports that are necessary, except usually on the way home, you have the opportunity to talk about what you just read with somebody that can share the conversation. My name is Jerry Reynolds. It's a pleasure to be here.
Thank you. No, thank you. Thank you very much.
What a crazy day in the middle of the winter, and give it up for Teresa, and thank you for the Gallery Cabaret. Thank you all so very much. Thank you. I just wanted, because I believe in the concept of shorter poems, I was going to end on something that I just found here. And I have no idea if it's appropriate before, because you've all heard about the awesome features that should be coming in 2 weeks' time. This is no any better. It's really easy for me to say that I didn't care about you and that I knew all along that you were lying to me, but that doesn't mean I feel that way. So whether or not I feel that way has nothing to do with it. It's irrelevant right now because I'm supposed to be over you. Because I'm supposed to not care about you. Well, I know I don't care about you. That's not my point. But my anger for the lies you told me, well, that hasn't gone away. And probably won't. That's how I operate. So I suppose I'm supposed to get over it, or be over it, and think nothing of you. Well, that's what I'll do then. I don't know how long it'll take, but I'll do it. And no one will know any better.
Thank you, Jerry. Thank you. And that had nothing to do with you, honestly. You responded to that one right away. Thank you all very much, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. 2 weeks, we got Marianne Shaver. Be able to keep it in mind anytime, open online, GetAGuys.org/LoveCafe. Find out the details, come bug me anytime. Thank you, and I look forward to seeing you all in